Okay guys, hello everyone, this is a north and south line battle. Now, unfortunately I had some technical problems when I was starting and the first two rounds were not captured correctly. Not sure why it didn't record properly, it only recorded 5k's worth of information. Which is very annoying to say the least. So, I do apologise to the Dixieland Army because this is who this is. This is not the Union Army, this is the DA. So, let me tell you about these wonderful people. Here's Brev Colonel Wubby from the 8th Alabama. We have North Carolinians moving out as well. Here is members of the 84E, the 3rd Kentucky. More from North Carolina as well. Now, for those of you who are not familiar, those are Quincy Raiders. Now, and there's obviously yet more of them in there. There's Thar, Volunteer Earth, and from Wisconsin, Andy Butts. Let's see, more North Carolinians. And these are the Royal Marines, ladies and gentlemen. Don't they look wonderful in their fine uniforms? Here we go. Lieutenant Truth leading the charge. And let's see if we can go to Manly Man. Doesn't he look manly with that fine moustache and beard from the 8th Alabama? And you can see here the Royal Marines getting into a stand-up fight and now starting to push forward against the members of the Confederate Army. And you can see some of these guys trying to defend themselves. It is the 8th Alabama. As you can see, it looks like he's taken down, Wubby has taken down a few members of the opposing forces with his pistol. And let's move over to North Carolina, Sergeant Iron Pally. Now, who is the officer in command here? Irish Brony, there we go, from North Carolina. Lance Corporal Irish Brony, doesn't he look fantastic? Stogie and beard included. So let's just find out as Archimedes. And there's Manly Man, and there is Strategist, or Strategist, from the Quincy Raiders. And you can see he is working together with Warrior JLB1. Now, he's a bit of a sharpshooter by the looks of it. And but he is working together on the artillery, these fine cannons, and the earthworks as Charboy manages to catch a bullet from Manly Man. Oh dear, very nasty stuff going on. Volunteer Earth also in there as well. And let's see if we can find out what's going on, as there's Captain Thar, who is the engineer of choice for these guys. And you can see doing a great job with the earthworks. And looking pretty good as far as we can see. As Warrior JLB continues his work. As the defenders continue to defend this artillery section, there is, from the 3rd Kentucky, General Music Man. And here we go, Sergeant Brendo. Also, look at this fine line from the 1st Kentucky, obviously smoke aside. Look at these guys, don't they look wonderful? Now starting to move out. Here we go, don't these guys look lovely? Aside from obviously the crotch shot. But never mind. Let's see what's going on as we shall move over to Wisconsin as commanding officer, or you can see Andy Butts here for... Wow! Look at that. That was just a phenomenally aimed cannonball. That really could have been unfortunate. And you can see it's been unfortunate for that horse. It could be that the horse was assassinated. Now they no longer needed it. But you can see looking through his binocs is Andy Butts. Now he's obviously going to be looking over to find the enemy, to see where they are. There's Warren Wiggins, who's obviously waiting around for an opportunity. Look at that. Oh, whoever is firing at them is doing a fantastic job. They've literally got their range really, really well. And the likes of Adam Malloy is now in the process of trying to return that fire. And you can see the smoke in the distance from the opposing enemy's artillery section. So, let's find out what's going on. And here is Joseph Memmer. And Cole Stanton? And from North Carolina, look at these guys spread out as they're making a rush up towards this location. As they're a member of the Confederate Army, jumping out of the way, but didn't manage to avoid the bullets, but not the bayonet. And that's going to be a problem for him. And now you can see, look at this mass charge coming in from these fine fellows. As the members of Alabama, there's a Manly Man taken down. Also Ghosty Poo as well, taken down by members of North Carolina and the 5th Texan. Fantastic. Good stuff indeed. So, let's see what's going on as we've got Silver Snipes and also Private Lone Wolf making their way out. Let's look around, see what's going on. Ah, the brave fellows from Kentucky. Captain Malloy from Wisconsin. And there's Nicolaus Shackleton. Conspicuous saluting. And Thor, Captain Thor, has been taken down. It looks like there's an attack on the artillery section as they've lost their engineer. And there's Sergeant Chunky. Look at him. Doesn't that face look wonderful? Looks like he's been caught in a wine press. And there is Lance Corporal, the Brussels. Taking it easy. Relaxing. And Volunteer Ronin moving in with the 26th. You can see these guys led by Irish Brony. And he will be leading them forward. And look at this. Oh yes. The two-dimensional bird is on the American battlefield. And he smiles upon this battle. So, let's see what's going on as we watch these guys from North Carolina make their way over. You can see through the rain here, it looks like they're going to be sort of taking a slightly roundabout route towards the enemy artillery emplacement, as the two enemy emplacements are not that far apart, as you can see. So, yeah, it's pretty damn impressive, the fire that's been coming on, as there we go, Lieutenant Josh takes down Private John Doe from Wisconsin, and there we go, you can see it looks like the members of North Carolina have run into a small problem. Let's see what that small problem is, because these will be the guys defending. And it is Kentucky. The brave regiment from Kentucky have been defending, have tried to take down some of the enemy and halt that. So General Music Man now moving out with his line away from that particular push by the North Carolinians, and let's just see what happens. As you can see here, Volunteer Ronin has moved up quite significantly against the enemy. Let's just see what's going on. So yeah, that definitely looks like a ring bayonet as opposed to a plug bayonet, but we shall see. As a random horsey escaping, Grand Theft Horsey, making off with the artillery sections, but fortunately not the guns. Now, here we are, Kentucky. They've now moving back towards to try and intercept the North Carolinians as they are moving up on the artillery section, currently looked after by Quincy Raiders. Or Quincy Raiders, I should say, not Quincy. That sounds like the old TV program, Quincy, M.E., but no, he wasn't from Maine. Well, at least I don't think he was. I can't remember. It's such an old program from the 70s. Jack Klugman and all the rest of it. So, for those of you who are old enough to remember that kind of stuff, yes, it was even on the television in America. And, sorry, I should say in UK even. I used to watch it quite often. Anyway, that aside, look at this. Moving towards as a line. Fantastic stuff coming in here. Nice drilling from the 3rd Kentucky. They're looking for an opportunity. They're going to come under fire. There we go. The line is established. Oh, a fine shot coming in from Stripes into Archimedes. And look at that. Ronin taking down Lance Corporal Twinkie. He drops to his feet by his comrades. And now they're going to have to start and rebuild, maybe push back a little bit. Sorry, pull back a little bit. That's exactly what they're doing, as they've come under sustained fire from the enemy, and they don't really have the cover that they would like. So these guys have the advantage of the cover of the treed area, and this is going to be a problem for the enemy. You can see them taking pot shots at the artillery section, while the Kentucky fine gentleman from Kentucky, as Josh manages to take out 2 members of North Carolina. So Mercenary the Goat with a fine comment there relating to vampires. Anyway, here is Josh from the Quincy Raiders, and you can see him in the process of trying to line up as Cannonball comes flying over. Now, it looks like they're going for normal cannonballs as opposed to any kind of canister or grape shot. So here is Sergeant Iron Pally, and they're moving up very, very quickly, trying to get an outflanking position as a 3rd Kentucky, Private Rassin gets finished off. And here is a 3rd Kentucky, and you can see them starting to move to try and make use of the cover if they possibly can, away from the cannonballs, and now they're getting into a stand-up fight. Look at this, and unfortunately, the Kentuckians are... Oh, Music Man, General Music Man, Officer aiming, ladies and gentlemen, he has been taken down. The General is finished off, and now, unfortunately, the members of Kentucky do not have a General. And this could be an unfortunate situation for them. They may have the advantage in numbers. We'll have to wait and see. As you can see, these guys continuing to fire. And it doesn't look like they've actually got bayonets. So this could be a problem here for the members of Kentucky. They're going up against bayoneted forces. Oh, a fine slice there and a stab. As a rifle butt coming in from Private Stripes. Look at that, rifle buttage to the head. It's got to be done. A little bit of barrel fun as well. And another kill by Stripes into Chimera. North Carolina being decimated here by the buttage of Private Stripes, and barrel fun indeed. So there we go. Let's just wait and see what's going on. Who's this fellow who looks rather concerned about 2 members of Kentucky charging after him? Basically going to smack him in the butt with a butt, basically, a rifle butt. So we'll just have to wait and see, as Deathlight is now trying to defend himself. There's Irish Brony from the 26th. He is the commanding officer who's been leading these lines. And now they're going up against the likes of Private Stripes, as a fine team kill from Lieutenant Colonel Das Fishy manages to kill Iron Pally. And there goes Chunky into Private Stripes. He is finished off. And now... there is not many left. 13 versus 3. Ugly Sweater remains alive from Alabama. Sharpshooter Warrior JB1 and Lieutenant Josh. That literally is it. Now, dirty rats. Well, quite. Where is... aha! Here we go. This is it, ladies and gentlemen. This is the battle. You can see here plenty of stabbings. And here's Lieutenant Josh trying to defend himself with literally a toothpick. That is such a small sword, it's almost not worth the bother. But unfortunately, for them, the Confederate Army was wiped out, and the Union Army wins the day. As we move to the next round. And so we return with the next round. Under the gaze of this somewhat sodden and rain-soaked 2-dimensional bird, we shall find out as the armies now make their way out across this rain-soaked vista. And you can see them, artillery trains, moving those fine cannons into an advantageous position. But you can see there also in the middle of the screen the enemy doing pretty much exactly the same thing. So, one thing I will say, for the new version of Mountain Blade, I really hope they put more options in for observer mode. I would like the ability to raise the camera up and down, speed up, slow down the speed of the camera, things like that. I will probably send them an email on the forums just as a suggestion. So, as you can see here, Joseph Memmer from 6th Wisconsin, and you can see he's got the toothpick again. Look at that. Oh, that's like a Roman gladiator. Just such a short sword. Oh, there we go. Up goes the earthworks. As there is Larry Bacon Helen. I wonder if Bacon's his middle name. It's quite a name. Ah, Samuel Westbury from Wisconsin. Fine engineering going on. A Major Lopexican has been taken down already. Officer aiming. That's the thing. Oh, ouch. Volunteer Chimera also being taken down as well. So, yeah, just wondering if that's... could that be regarded as officer aiming when you fire the cannon? Because you don't always know if you're going to get an officer or not. So it's difficult to say. And Malloy taking down Tharbringer as well from Quinty Raiders. And now let's see what's going on. As we will follow this troop here. They're, of course, the 26th North Carolinians. Look at these fine fellows. Moving up, getting organised into their line, ready for Irish Brony to give the word. Over here, more North Carolinians. With Lance Corporal Ian, 322. Seems to be leading another line of fine members of North Carolina. You can see these guys all taking a bow, so to speak, or just taking a knee while they sort things out. So, oh dear, mercenary goat has been killed. Who is the horn? Advisor to the south, Ford. Fine horn work there, sir. Fine horns. Fantastic stuff. And here is Music Man, General of the 3rd Kentucky. So these guys obviously looking. Aha, they have found an enemy. Now, could this be one of the smaller lines of the 26th? No, it's the 9th Texan. The 9th Texan, with there's Das Fishy and Chunky and Roman now starting to move out. As you can see, they've come under serious fire. As it looks like Safe 6, I think that is, has managed to catch a bullet as well. Now, who's this gentleman? Sold Out Saucy, who is currently horsing it up, so to speak. Grand Theft Horsey. As you can see him in the process of checking the area. And there is Sold Out Cotis from the 84. Working together with Delm 22 as well. And these guys from the Confederate State. Oh, listen to that. Confederate State Army continuing to fire at the members of the Union forces. As they are now moving up in 2 lines from, yep, it's the North Carolinians again. So let's see what's going on. There's Ian. And let's see what's... Aha, Wisconsin. Warren Robbins. Oh, sorry, Warren Wiggins even. My apologies, Warren. And there's Bacon Heldon. Or Helen. And there's Adam Malloy, who's been doing some wonderful cannoneering. And let's see what's going on as we look over to Andy Butts. Checking through his binoculars. Obviously, he looks through his nose there. But we'll just have to wait and see what's going on. As you can see, some defensive positions and defensive encampments and places like that. There we go. Look at that. A little. Now, that, unfortunately, will make him a bit of a target. But it gives him extra visibility. So that's a good thing. Now, it looks like... Ah, here we go. It looks like the Royal Marines are up in a battle against the 8th Alabama. There's Volunteer Arund, as he's trying to defend himself from multiple attacks coming in from the Royal Marines. Who is this fellow over here? Yeah, there's Quinty Raiders. And let's just see, here's Sabre 2 coming in from the Quinty Raiders. And they looks like they managed to wipe out the Royal Marines with a nice bit of melee coming in. But the problem is going to... We'll see. No, it looks like Kentucky. Oh! And there's Brev Colonel Wubby, who's trying to get his troops back together. As there you can see. Cleburne as well. Now... let's find out what this general is up to. There's Music Man with his Kentuckians waiting. Oh, okay, so, yeah. Oh dear. Well, he's not waiting so much anymore. Let's just say it looks like he may have just bayoneted himself in the testicles. And unfortunately now can no longer take part in the battle. As Ugly Sweater has just been killed by Snapdo, or Snapdo I should say. Here is Captain Thar, the engineer supremo for the Confederate Army. Look at this, 2 kills, 0 deaths from the Quinty Raiders, and fine earthworks being done. Listen to that horn in the background. There is Music Man making his way. Now, let's see if we can find out what's going on. Because, obviously, we've got the members of the Union forces trying to sort of move out and about. And let's see if we can find out where the other members are. So there appears to be the cannon emplacement there, as Chunky manages to catch a bullet. And if we look around for the smoke, here we go. It looks like a really serious situation coming in, as it looks like the members of the Confederate State Army, possibly, let's see, have started to move up. No. Oh, no, this is the 5th Texan. So you can see, let's see on the right side here. The 5th Texan is actually playing on the Union side right now. Huzzah indeed. As Yogurt Shop has just been finished off with a fine headshot from Gatu. And here you can see definitely members of the 84E trying to defend themselves. As you can see here, 84E definitely on the Confederate state. You can tell from these uniforms. Oh God. What kind of face is that? But now you can see these guys trying to defend themselves. Kentucky also in there with the 84E trying to defend themselves from that push coming in from their enemy, and it's a pretty serious push, and these guys are under a serious amount of pressure. However, over on the right hand side, as Music Man gets finished off, you've got another push coming in from the right hand side, and here is the North Carolinians under the command of Ian 322, managing to avoid the odd bullet over the place. And you can see them coming in, dodging left and right. There's Captain Gatu from the 8th Alabama trying to defend himself, as out come the bayonets, out come the rifle butts. And it's melee time, ladies and gentlemen, as Ian 322 sees one of his enemy go down in front of him, courtesy of one of his teammates. And now he's defending himself. And unfortunately didn't go well for him, as he was then killed by Splash, as Volunteer Canardia. I wonder if he's from Canardia. But anyway, let's find out, as there is Silver Snipes as well. And it's looking not too good there, as Colonel Wubby gets finished off from the 8th Alabama. And Private Cleburne is one of the few people left standing. He is currently at one with nature. And he's missed. Oh dear, this is not going to go well. If Cleburne's missed that shot, what's going to happen now? As now he's got to dodge the bullets. And unfortunately failed horribly, as Canardia takes him down. Now, cannonballs coming in and taking down Private Rasson and also Corporal Twinkie. Those cannonballs which have come absolutely barreling down from the enemy and doing some absolutely brutal damage, as Soldat Happy Turtle gets finished off. So now you can see. Oh. Wow. Yeah, that did not go well for the 3rd Kentucky. Did not go well at all, as you can see. They lost a significant number of their army to very well aimed cannonballs. So here is Advisor to the south, Ford, in with his horn. Well, quite. And you can see these guys moving up as well. 3rd Kentucky, Schnick. And there's also Private Washington. As the cannonballs, look at this. They're going for a quick run. As Archimedes gets finished off by Advisor to the south. And now they've decided to back off. As you can see, Deathlight from North Carolina taking the artillery hill. Who is this poor man trying to defend himself? It's Lewis George, Marksman Lewis George from the Quinty Raiders, trying to defend himself against the North Carolinians. 1 stab, 2 stabs. Oh, sorry, that was the 9th Texan, and Daspishy with a fine stab, taking down his opponent. There is Private Charboy with a fine beard. I don't think that's the same Charboy from Scotland. Not sure. Anyway. Let's just see. As Canardia gets taken down, and now we see the remaining members, 3 members of the Confederate State Army. Ouch. Very nasty indeed. And Westbury is just taken down 2 other teammates Oh dearie me. That's not good. Here is advisor to the south. And he is not advising any further. His advice has now come to an end. Unfortunately, he didn't take his own advice and avoided the bayonet. But we shall move on to the next round, ladies and gentlemen. We'll be right back. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we return for the next round. And Sharpshooter Warrior JLB1. Advisor to the North Ford, or South Ford I should say. How can he look sexy without his horse? It's a bit of a worry if the most sexy thing about you is your horse. That's alarming in itself. Anyway, Private John Doe, conspicuous saluting going on here from Wisconsin. Ballsack Satan. Yeah, okay. There's John Doe in there as well. Ah, cannons being set up with Larry Bacon Helen. And there is Samuel Westbury. Adjutant Samuel Westbury. Saw some fine fifing from him earlier in the warm-up. Always good to see a little bit of music. Because even in this mod, musicians do not get any love. Same with Napoleonic Wars. They just don't get the love. And it makes me sad. Anyway. Nicholas Shackleton from Wisconsin. Look at that fine braid and hat. Doesn't he look wonderful? And Sergeant Dominator from the 84E. Following his line leader as Hiccups manages to catch a bullet. And there we go. The Truth managing to kill a few members of the North Carolinian Army. As now you can see, or a regiment I should say, as Ashcraft also manages to catch a bullet. As these guys are trying to defend themselves. Oh, wow. The 3rd Kentucky again with a fantastic cannonball onto them from Adam Malloy. Whoa, holy crap. That was just an absolutely fantastic shot from Adam Malloy. So he is proving himself to be a very, very good artilleryman. Really, really good. And, yeah, it's going to give the Quinty Raiders a bit of a problem because they're up against him. So, let's see what's going on. General Music Man has now, you can see here, more fire coming in. 3rd Kentucky taking a little bit of a battering as Thar gets killed by Warrior JLB1. Let's just see. As Brendo also gets finished off as well. Who's this gentleman? Advisor to the south. Forward, this time with a drum. You can see these guys in the process of getting into a stand-up fight as Cole Stanton returns the favour into the Royal Marines. De Beers and Oman gets finished off as well. Let's see what's going on. Ah, the cannonballs flying over the head. So, let's see. So we fly through the arboreal delights of this map. As now, here we are. There is Adam Malloy, cannonball murderer of extreme note. As we see him get ready. Oh, away goes the cannonball, the fine puff of smoke. He is supported by Bacon Helen, Mr. L. Bacon Helen, and firing the cannonball over the top of Nicholas Shackleton, and then being followed also by Andy Butts from Wisconsin. Now, let's see what's going on around the battlefield to see if we can get an idea of the flow of the battle. See, that's a very difficult thing to actually get an idea of. I mean, you can imagine it was just as confusing. Oh, crikey, look at all this. This is not good. Confederate armies taking a lot of casualties. You can see Union forces also taking a lot of fire. Oh, goodness me, look at this. Let's see if we can find out what's going on. Ah, here we go. Looks like we got a bat. Oh, that was a cannonball. As we can see, these guys... Oh, dear. As Charboy manages to catch a little bit of a bullet hit, but he's managed to survive. Private Washington, however, did not. As there's Deathlight in the process of trying to engage the enemy. Look at this. More cannon fire, more smoke, everything going on. And let's just see as we find out who is making a push. As there is Chadwick, Brigadier General Chadwick, who's in the process from the 26th North Carolina, getting involved with the battle. Out comes the melee, and you can see why he's the general, because he doesn't use the melee that often. So Chadwick is now no more, and unfortunately keeping up the tradition of Chads who are unable to melee. So we'll just have to wait and see. So let's just find out what's going on, as we are in the process of watching Cleburne from the 8th Alabama, and surrounded by his teammates. Obviously there's Wubbykins, and there's Irish Warrior as well from the 5th Georgian, and you can see these guys doing a great job there. As Wubbykins gets finished off by Irish Brony. And now it looks like Deathlight moving back a little bit. As Warrior JLB1 is in the midst of a melee fight. This is not going to go good for him. As you can see, he's up against 3 other members of the Union forces. So let's watch Warrior. Goes in for a quick stab, gets blocked. Oh, look at that. Fine stab from Warrior JLB1. Let's wait and see what happens. Oh, fine dodge there. Look at that. And now this is the tables have turned onto Volunteer Ronin from North Carolina, as fortunately for Warrior, his teammates came to his assistance. Now, Lone Wolf is literally living up to his name right now. Yeah. Okay, that didn't go so much as Lone Wolf would have liked, I don't think, but never mind. So let's see if we can follow up. 5 versus 12. So the Confederate State Army, as a nice explosion by Turk, takes down Westbury and Seaman as well. Shackleton also gets finished off as we're watching battles going on. Cole Stanton looking to try and get a reload in there. Out come the rifle butts and down goes John Doe. Another stab coming in here from Mr. Person, 420 Mr. Person from 8th Alabama. And you can see here, oh, look at that lovely shot as well, as now he's trying to defend himself from the sabre of Andy Butts. Andy Butts going in there with the sabre, gets blocked, goes in for a nice slice, and manages to, oh, lovely kill there by Malloy onto the enemy. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is a GG. A good game, and thank you to all the regiments that attended. My complete apologies for the fact that I had a recording problem and the first 2 rounds didn't get recorded. Due to that, my apologies. So, there we go, ladies and gentlemen. That has been it. We'll see you next time.